out of the entire collection, that would be the best piece.
Good afternoon. Very clean. Hey, Arthur.
Hey guys, so as some of you might know, we're closed on Mondays, but that doesn't mean that we're still not working hard trying to get as much cool product out for you guys to come check out and buy. So whether it's packing and shipping from eBay from the weekend, whether it's going through some of the stuff that came in through collections over the weekend, there's usually at least one or two of us here working on stuff, again, trying to make sure we can get as much stuff out for you guys to check out as possible. So let's go back now and check out David and see what he's working on.
Oh, hey everybody. Pricing some diecast in both the Antique Mall and here. So just got a random box and came across this anomaly. Greenlight Hollywood, Sanford and Son, 1952 Ford F1 from the show. Quite the anomaly. Here are some sold listings for it. $249, $225 in the last 2 weeks. So ought to be a good piece. You're more than welcome to look at it. Look for it on our eBay. We'll have it posted.
What's going on? So it's a Monday, of course, and we start out the day basically with shipping, and after we're done with shipping, me and Luke will go to eBay and begin that, and I will either wrap up whatever is going on with YouTube, or in this case, we'll look at some Transformers or whatever is on my desk from the weekend. So what we got though, something pretty new, pretty great. This is not quite circulated into all stores just yet, but this is an Age of the Primes Onslaught. As you can see here, this person clearly didn't have Swindle, and the weapons are in here because there is some missing that should be on Blast Off and Vortex. Yeah, so overall pretty cool piece. We're gonna wait on Swindle because typically with combiners, what will happen is I try to get all the pieces for them before we put them out as a whole. If it's something that's really obscure or rare, or that I can't get all the pieces for, and I know I can't, then we'll sell them in pieces. So we got SS86 Shockwave as well. He needs a little bit of cleaning though. He's got some dust on him and stuff. And it's a pretty cool figure. You can actually take this in gun mode, attach it to the shoulder of Bruticus. And of course, a bunch of Hot Wheels crossovers, which have really become one of the big selling points lately of modern Transformers. I don't know what's going on. These have become really popular lately. They're even making a Gravedigger. The Gravedigger is going to be leader size. He's going to be, I think he's a 10-inch figure. Can't wait for that. So yeah, I mean, that's what we're up to. Or at least what I'm up to.
So on Mondays, I'm usually here working on eBay. I've got a stack of some Gundam models here. I'm a big Gundam fan, so it's a lot of fun for me to list those items. And they don't normally sell very well on the sales floor for whatever reason. So we've got some neat sets here. They're all 1/144th scale, high grade kits. This one is the Silver Bullet from Mobile Suit Variation. These are also Universal Century suits. I think both of these are from the Hathaway anime. And then if you want to get real crazy and go super far into the future, I think we're in like UC 150-ish around this period of time is where this guy shows up. He's from Turn A Gundam. But yeah, so I'll be listing these. This one's actually 1/100 scale. It's not 1/144th. We've also got Metroplex over here. I don't know what exactly we're going to end up doing with him. Maybe I'll get to sell him on eBay. He's a really cool piece. But yeah, that's something else that came in over the weekend. So on Mondays, we'll go through and kind of see what we've got and what's going to come onto eBay, what's going to go out on the floor, what we need to work on, all that kind of good stuff.
All right, so in this collection that was brought in, there are definitely some highlights.
So I brought in a lot of stuff. Rainbow Brite, Couples, Tom and Jerry, Strawberry Shortcake.
You don't see Rainbow Brite super often in the box, and she does have quite a few pieces that are pretty cool. Now, she did have one completely sealed indigo, and then there's one open indigo right here, but complete, which is pretty cool. There's a red butler, which is nice. Canary yellow. I cannot pronounce his name. I don't know how it's supposed to be, but he's cool. He's a villain. And then dress up Rainbow Brite, which is not the standard that comes with her Sprite named Twink.
80s mashup, just lots of fun, cool stuff. So
Out of the entire collection, that would be the best piece. Now, that's a pretty subjective term. In this case, it's the most expensive out of everything, which is pretty cool. It's not something that you see super often. Most of the time when you do see it, it's incomplete and out of the box. Obviously the box is for most vintage toys. That was the first thing to go because it was the largest thing, took up the most space. So seeing it in a sealed box and in this nice a shape is pretty cool. If this does not sell in the store, it'll definitely be making an appearance at some shows in the coming up future. Sprite cycle is pretty cool. That's awesome. The box is a little bit caved in, but no big deal. It's sealed. So at least you know it's all good to go in there. Another thing I'd like to point out are these sweet sleepers for Strawberry Shortcake. These are really hard to find, and some of them might not be the most expensive, such as Orange Blossom. She's not anything crazy. This one right here happens to be fairly expensive for what they are. Now, I did just have a wisdom tooth pulled, so I'm gonna let Kelly take over and talk about some of the loose stuff that we have in this collection.
Multiple variations of the Sprites, right? These guys, that's the Rainbow Brite companions. Those are really cool. Lots of Rainbow Brite dolls over there that are loose and look to be fairly complete. Some Fraggle Rock stuff, which is really neat. A lot of Doozer stuff.
What's a Doozer?
So a Doozer, if you ever watched the show, the Fraggles lived in a cave, and these little guys symbiotically lived in the cave with them.
They were to work around.
And they were little guys. Like if a Fraggle was this big, a Doozer was this big, and they lived in the caves and constantly built cool cities and just buildings and stuff. Like all they do is just build stuff. But the Fraggles would walk by and break pieces off of the buildings and eat them like they were snacks. So they're constantly having to rebuild things because the Fraggles just ate their stuff all the time. Got some boxed Strawberry Shortcake, kind of a little creature riding thing. It's like a worm that they ride on. There's a cycle, which is pretty cool. Some Rainbow Brite horses. Yeah, this is a really cool collection because we don't get tons of girl stuff in here, and a lot of times when we do get girl stuff, it's kind of well loved and beat up, and this one's all pretty nice. So this is exciting to have a bunch of cool girl stuff in here at one time. There's a lot to go through. We're gonna have to make space for it also. So hopefully in the next week or so, we'll get some of this out. That would be nice.
I would like to say thank you, a very large thank you to Serena. She moved up from Florida and decided to bring us a pretty cool collection today.
all this is here. They've got it now for you guys to come and explore and buy, and
I can promise you that we'll find all of this some fantastic homes.
good homes. I'm sure.
Thank you, Serena.
You're
Very
welcome.
much appreciate it.
Thank you.